Okay, we've got the big South Carolina-Georgia game coming up this weekend. I thought it might be a good idea to get the perspective of a good longtime Georgia fan and Georgia grad. So I'm going to interview my wife about the game. First question I guess I'll ask you is, what do you think about Mark Rick and his coaching job so far? Is Mark Rick on the hot seat?
I think that those are always stupid questions because only people that have never played football and have never coached a team ask about whether or not a coach should be fired.
Okay, okay, let's talk about specifics. Do you think we're now a year into Georgia's new 3-4 defense? Do you think that they'll be able to stop Marcus Lattimore?
Number one, I don't really know what 3-4 defense is. Number two, I don't really care. And, I mean, I don't... Why don't we just wait to see the game to find out if they stop them? What's the use in analyzing it? I don't understand.
Okay, well, part of the deal with the whole game is the fun of predicting it. You know, looking at what might happen. You know, for example, Georgia's coming in with a hot new running back. Where's number one? Isaiah Crowell. I'm not sure how you say his name, but you know, I know they're really excited to get that recruit. How do you think he's going to do?
I don't know who he is because only losers follow recruiting.
Okay, so it would be kind of futile, excuse me, I'm shook up, for me to ask you about how we think Jadeveon Clowney's going to perform in the game.
Is that your recruiting person that you've been following?
Yes, number one recruit.
Going online and cyber stalking a high school boy?
Yes, number one recruit.
Is this what you call fun?
Yes, well.
Then I'm just sad for you.
Well, now that you put it that way.
I'm sure his mom is just really excited to know a lot of 40-year-old men are slobbering over her young son.
Okay, well, then let me ask you this: if you don't want to talk about Rick's hot seat, you don't want to talk about Georgia's.
You're the one who wants to talk about Rick's hot seat. I never mentioned if his seat was hot or not.
Okay, let's just go with this then. How about giving me a prediction? What you think the score will be? No, before we get to that, let me ask you about this. What did you think about, you don't want to talk about the defense, you don't want to talk about the offense, you don't want to talk about the coach. Let's talk about their uniforms last week. What did you think about Georgia's uniforms?
That was an embarrassment to the school. It was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. And it made me feel really old because evidently young people like that. And I think that we need to wear traditional uniforms.
Okay. Has Georgia ever won when they didn't wear traditional uniforms?
No. So the only good thing I could say is that the wearing of those uniforms and getting their butts kicked probably means we will never see them again. Because anytime we've pulled out the black pants, we always lose. And then they don't make a reappearance until the next year when we think, oh, let's try the black pants again. The best thing that could happen would be for South Carolina to come out with some crazy uniform on Saturday.
Well, you may be happy to know that I think Georgia's going back to the traditional silver breeches.
But I actually think Steve Spurrier would not do that because he's older and crankier than I am.
Okay, well, thanks for the analysis. Can you give me what you're predicting for the final score this week?
I don't know. I think South Carolina will win probably 37-28.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks. In-depth analysis by my wife.